Hello, this is Heather Hoffman, and today I have a fun layered bear card using a sentiment as kind of a backdrop for the cute image. I've already stamped and die cut the cute little big bear, and I wanted to make note of when you use the coordinating dies how it cuts out those arms so that in this case he can hold the little heart. There's a bunch of other things in the stamp set, and I'm sure you can go beyond the stamp set to find other little things for him to hold, but I just think it's so cute and fun and clever. So I have the image. A lot of times I'll stamp first and color and then die cut. For this video I went ahead and stamped and die cut first so that I could go ahead and color on the video. I'm using simple Copic colors. For the red on the heart I'm using R17 and R29. I usually do Copic markers in pairs of 2 colors at least, sometimes 3. I just like to have a little bit of a darker shade for some blending and then a lighter shade just as a base color. So for the blue for the scarf, I'm using B12 and B05. I'll write these up on the screen as well so that you can see them. And to kind of add the shading on the scarf, for the center of it, I kind of did some flicking in from the outside edges, so it leaves the highlight in the center. And then for the bear, I'm using 3 different shades of brown. I'm using a lighter shade that's going to color kind of his nose area there. And for that, I'm using E23. And then for the rest of him, I'm using 2 darker shades. I wanted to make him a brown bear, which, a nice deep dark brown bear. To me, they almost look black, but even if they're technically brown. So I wanted to go with that cozy, dark, rich color. So for this, I'm starting with E59, and that's what I'm laying down as a base color, just kind of getting all the way around those edges. It's kind of hard to color without getting my head in front of the camera, so there's 1 or 2 spots where I noticed I went out of the lines a little bit. I like to get my face right in there when I'm coloring, so I think that's why I don't do a lot of coloring videos, and I was also trying to do this fairly quick and simple. So I'm just laying down a base color, as you can see, all the way around. The great thing is, too, if you go a little bit outside the lines, it doesn't work as well on a nice dark color like this, but you notice on the ear there I popped out the lines a little, and at that point I like to grab my colorless blender and sort of use it as an eraser. It won't completely make it go away, but it kind of lifts the color a little bit and softens it. And then I'm going to come in, I went back around the lighter area of the nose with the same color, the E23, and added a little shading. And then around on the rest of the bear, I'm using E79 to add just some depth and shadow kind of around those, the edges of his face, under his scarf, and kind of down the bottom. And once I've gone around and added some blending, and I'm kind of happy with the shading in the dark, I also like to come in and add a little bit of dots and stippling. It kind of helps add on the bear a little bit to the effect of fur, so that you kind of get that feeling of a fuzzy, cozy, comfy bear, which is always kind of fun. So, and I just keep adding. I don't have a particular rhyme or reason, but I like to just keep adding shading until I like it. And then I'm coming back in with the E59 to blend just a little bit over those differences. And then with that one is where I come in, and you can kind of see there it's sped up, but I'm adding just some really fine small dots. And again, that's just going to add that little bit of texture. And then I fixed a little spot on the blue, added another little shade on the nose, and he's good to go. So I'm going to get that heart tucked in there where I want it. I want to make sure he got it with both hands holding it, so I ended up kind of popping the arms out and coming in from the bottom, I think was the easiest way to get that held in there. How cute is that? And then I wanted to use my sentiment as my backdrop. So I'm going to add my foam adhesive to the back of the bear, but not adhere him down quite yet. And I've already pulled out that sentiment, and I'm using some Midnight cardstock. And before I stamp this, I'm sorry, not Midnight cardstock, Midnight dye ink. Let me get the right thing here. I like to just stamp it off on a scrap just to make sure it's all fully inked and working well. And I'm just going to stamp this several times, just kind of at fun wonky angles, until I have about the right amount that I want for a backdrop there. And pop the bear over, and that's about the right amount. But I decided I wanted one more little pop of red on there. So I pulled out another stamp set, Heart Pals, and some salsa dye ink, and I used that little tiny trio of hearts just to add a little more interest onto that design on there. See how the red kind of makes a visual triangle that helps kind of center the bear and pops out that little heart he's holding and kind of reinforces that message. There you go. Simple and fun, and a fun way to use your sentiments. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day.